Cubs are still trying to figure out what they're going to do without Justin Steele, who could be on the IL for maybe as long as 2 weeks. They look to Kyle Hendricks to try to get in the win column tonight against the Rangers, and they signed a veteran catcher who will play in AAA Iowa. That and more right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, and let's get this thing started. Here's your invitation. Hit the bell so you know when we're live. Let's go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? It's Mick Gillispie. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel at Broadcaster Mick as we talk about the Cubs each and every day right here on the channel. All right, let's get this thing going and talk about the Cubs. And, the biggest story right now is what are the Cubs going to do without Justin Steele? Dealing with a hamstring. We still don't know the extent of that injury. He was hurt fielding a bunt against the Rangers in the opening day game. And how is this going to affect the Cubs and him moving forward? I mean, this is an injury that could, depending on the severity, be up to 2 months. So let's hope that's not the case, but we'll find out more. We'll find out more really soon. But the Cubs aren't going to have him for a while. Jameson Taillon on the IL with a back injury, expecting him to be ready to go sometime soon, maybe in the next week or two. So he'll help this rotation out, but it's really a shame because Justin Steele had pitched so well. So what are the options for the Cubs? I talked about this on yesterday's show. Hayden Wesneski, they traded the Yankees to get him, and has a good slider, but really hasn't had much success as a starter in the big leagues. Justin Smiley, who the Cubs signed, he was great at the beginning of last year, then struggled. They put him in the bullpen and gave up the game-winning hit in extras against the Rangers on Thursday, or the guy that I think is going to be who they call, and that's Ben Brown. This Ben Brown was ready to go last year. I think he's got better upside than both of these guys. His last 2 spring training starts were really, really good. March 16th against the Angels, he got the win in the game. He pitched 4 innings. He gave up 3 hits and no runs, had a walk and 4 strikeouts, looked really, really good. And then he backed that up on March 23rd against Milwaukee. The game against the Angels was in Tempe, which is a road game. The game against Milwaukee was at Sloan Park, and he pitched another 4-inning gem. And in spring training, 4 innings that's a lot of innings for one of those starts. But he only allowed 2 hits. He had a walk and 3 strikeouts. He threw 56 pitches, 32 strikes. He was commanding the zone. He looked good. The fastball was in there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the guy that they go to. They wanted to bring him up last year, had some injury issues. It wasn't an arm injury, but he was slowed by that. He's ready to go right now. And if you're looking for the best upside, it's definitely him. And the other part of it is, you got these prospects for a reason, to get them out there and help you win ball games. So I would just not be surprised. I think if you were asking me to rank the order of which I think these guys are going to be used, I would say Ben Brown 1, Smiley 2, and Wesneski 3. So that's how I think it. And I think Ben Brown is the easy pick here to replace Steele in the rotation. Cubs will try to get in the win column tonight at the Rangers. They'll go with Kyle Hendricks making his season debut. Cody Bradford for the Rangers. It's a 6:05 game in Arlington. The last game, I know it didn't turn out the way that we wanted to, but it was a really good baseball game. And I've talked to a lot of my friends around the game that said, hey, you know what? That's what baseball is. Both teams scored in the ninth. It was a walk-off win. The pitching was great. There was some really excellent defense played in the game. So we'll see if that continues as the Cubs try to get their record even at 1-1 and pick up a win against the Rangers. And I don't know why the Rangers have a dome, so I don't really know why you would schedule the off day, because the off day was always scheduled. You play on Thursday and then you take off on Friday and play again on Saturday. Well, the reason they did that was because if you got a rain out, you didn't want to lose opening day. Well, if you got a dome, you're not getting a rain out. But they scheduled it like that anyhow. Cubs will play again tomorrow to wrap up the series. Final note on today's show is that the Cubs have signed catcher. I don't want to use the term journeyman, but I will use the term veteran catcher, Curt Casali. Now, he has played for some different organizations, came up through the Tampa Bay Rays organization, and made it to the big leagues in 2014. Played for the Cincinnati Reds, played for the Giants, the Mariners, and then back to the Reds again last year. So I guess we can use the term journeyman. 10 years, though, in the major leagues. And he's got a career .220 batting average, 47 home runs, 154 knocked in. He's played 502 big league games. Now, I remember him playing. I always thought he was a pretty good defensive catcher. And at 6'2", 220, he's from Walnut Creek, California. He's going to play in Iowa, and that gives the Cubs some really much-needed depth at the catcher spot, because once you get past Yan Gomes, you really don't know what you're getting. Miguel Amaya got some time last year. Craig Counsell's made it clear that if you're going to play this year, you're going to have to earn playing time. I wouldn't want him to be our everyday catcher. Then you get past him, you got Bryce Wyndham in the minor leagues, who isn't on any of the prospect guides, can hit some. And now you got Curt Casali, and they signed those other guys, Alfaro and Hudson, in the before spring training, and it doesn't look like those guys are going to be options for the Cubs. But it's an area where the Cubs just don't have a lot of depth. Talked about that before, and it may be something that the Cubs look at in the draft as far as bringing in guys who can kind of be the next big-time catcher in the organization. So that's where we are right now. Anyway, great talking to you guys. As you can see, I'm not in my home studio. I'm actually in Wrigleyville right now, and enjoyed some time here in Chicago. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the Cubs and anything going on, hopefully with a win. If something breaks, we'll jump on and share that with you. But thanks for hanging out with us here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and go Cubs.